be. We'll see if Frank Wade can run down Austin Knight here. Very early in the race, Rusty Camoli gets passed by Earl Andretti. Earl Andretti's looking to make moves. Looking down to the inside of Bobby Leo Moxon now for third, going into turn number 1. Start of this race brings quite a few drivers to the front of our field that aren't usually up here. We see running 6th place there behind Rusty Camoli, that 343, Jack Brown. He's had a rough couple weeks, been in a couple accidents at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago. Atlanta, he just didn't have a run, but now currently running in the top 10. So he had a good starting position for this one. You see Gunny just going to his inside, taking that spot away, as well as Rhett Sawyer coming through in that 32 machine. Sawyer's going to dive it hard to the inside and pass, and Gunny, they're going to be side by side as they go down the back straightaway, but that outside momentum gave Gunny that spot. He's going to hold on to 6th place at this time. Frank Wade has taken the lead from Austin Knight and is already pulling away in that short period of time. So that number 5 machine very strong tonight. And it is a sunset race here tonight, so we will transition into the nighttime, which will change up the track. We'll have to see if that affects anybody's setup later on in the race. But right now, the Rocket, Frank Wade, pulling away to over a 1.5 seconds on the lead now. Bobby Leo Moxon there in third has got his hands full with Earl Andretti. Soon to be Rhett Sawyer, as Sawyer's poking his nose in the picture. On the outside, he might actually get the spot on Andretti. Battling side by side. Gunny's going to come up here, stick his nose in it. He's got his first glimpse of the top 10 so far this year. Good to see him running up front. Trying to make a move on your points leader. Not going to be able to do it coming out of 3 as Andretti and Sawyer still battling hard for 5th position. Still got a little bit of side-by-side action here. Most everybody is already single file. You see Dougie Zoom looking to go to the inside of McDaniel. Not going to be able to get there coming out of 3. That high side coming out of 2 seems to be a good spot to be when you're battling. These guys got a little bit more momentum on that outside. As you see Andretti trying to get past Gunny there in his 68 machine. Gunny goes a little high. That's going to allow Andretti to stick his nose out front, but Gunny's going to battle on the outside. We're going to have Dougie Zoom bouncing the inside, trying to make this a 3-wide battle. As we come across the start-finish line, we are going to be 3 wide. David Dunwoody stuck in the middle. Gunny's way up high, hung out to dry, and he's going to lose quite a few positions with that move. But David Dunwoody coming up, looking to the inside of Earl Andretti as we go to turn number 3. And Dunwoody get her done. Andretti's got a strong car, but not on the entry of 1. Give that spot to Dunwoody. Meanwhile, up front, Frank Wade is rocketing away from the field. 2.5 seconds now the gap between him and Austin Knight, currently running second. Almost 3 seconds now the gap, and he is just continuing to pull away. We've seen this at Watkins Glen. when he led a good 20 laps and rocketed way in front of the field until he had an instant with a lap car that lost it in front of him and took him out of contention for that win. Good to see Frank Wade back up front, showing us all that he can do it multiple times. Austin Knight still sitting in second place, but that number 32 machine, your points leader right now, is on a move, looking to the inside in turn number 3. He wants that second place spot. They're going to battle side by side into turn number 1, but that outside line for Knight is not going to be able to do it for him, as Sawyer's going to take that position. And Sawyer is going to try to chase down Frank Wade, who's now 3.5 seconds in front of our leader. David Dunwoody in that number 28 machine has worked his way up 13 spots to 4th place. That number 28 is on a move this afternoon as well. Being a close eye on that machine. Let's see what he can do with it. Bobby Leo Moxon is currently in 5th. Cheeto's powered Ford. Erland Reddy. Dougie Zoom is trying to get by Erland Reddy there. Dougie is running 7th in that 33. With Brian Delp Jr. there right behind him in 8th. As we're coming down the run stretch, we're going almost 3 wide again. Brian Delp Jr. dives through the center. Bobby Leo Moxon and Dougie Zoom get hung out to dry on the outside, but Brian Delp Jr. shoots the middle and takes 3 spots. Great move by that number 8 machine. Very aggressive early on in this race, as we are 20 laps in here. 155 more to go. Only 1 pit stop for this race. Should see these guys coming in. I'm guessing probably around 100 to 120. So we'll see what these guys have to do for pit stops. But with only 1 pit stop, that is going to take the strategy and change that up a little bit. But Rhett Sawyer is gaining on Frank Wade. Gap now 3 seconds. We'll have to keep an eye on, see if he can actually gain any more than that, but he is currently not allowing Frank Wade to slip away anymore. You see the gap between Austin Knight and Rhett Sawyer now a second, so Rhett Sawyer is pulling away from Austin Knight and somewhat diminishing that gap between him and Frank Wade. David Dunwoody in that 28 machine catching Austin Knight in 3rd. So as the front of the field has started to really spread out, we are seeing some strong cars working their way towards the front. Brian Delp Jr. after that move has gotten himself into 5th there behind David Dunwoody, trying to catch up to them guys as well. Further back in the field here, battle for 10th place. You see Tracy McDaniel and Javier Vasquez right in front of this group, battling side by side. Vasquez is on his way up, broke into the top 10 now. Fox Highwind looking down to the inside of Bobby Leo Moxon going into turn number 1, but we got Tyler Vickery diving to the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. Moxon falls back a little bit so they don't get into that situation, but Vickery's going to take over that spot. The Andrews in that number 2 machine, he's working his way towards the front. We've seen him up front here in the last few races. rookie here in this series this year and is putting on a show. Currently running 13th position. Started way in the back. He's up 15 spots from where he was at. So having a good run so far this evening. And just constantly marching to the front. Javier Vasquez is actually up 9 spots where he was at, currently in the top 10. So number 17 is also on the move. Tyler Vickery looking to the inside of Fox Highwind as they come out of turn number 2. Not going to have the momentum off the corner, but can he do it in 3 and 4 as he dives hard to the inside of that 57 machine? They're going to be side by side as they come out of turn number 4. Very low entry for Vickery into turn number 1. Scoots up the track a little bit, and he's going to get by that number 57. Actually, he's going to battle back on the outside, still side by side. You see Andrews getting held up. He's going to look to the inside of Vickery through 3 and 4. Not going to be able to do it. He's going to lose some momentum, and now the 64 and 57 are right there on his bumper. Going to maintain that 11th position, but definitely looking to get into the top 10. See Adam Jones taking another position away from Gunny. Gunny is falling back a little bit as Basher Craven now gets to his inside and takes that position away from him. So not sure exactly what happened to that 68 machine, but he is falling back from his starting position. Falling back 9 spots from where he started. So still falling back as you see Berto De Moya on the outside of Fox Highwind making moves as he gets that position on the outside. Dustin Slater down there in E15 on the inside of Rusty Camoli making moves as well. Trying to break into the top 10, running 13th right now. Could make that 12th right now. Up 12, another 12 spots from where he started. So Slater on the move towards the front. As we take a look further back up front, we've got a little bit of position changing. Frank Wade and Rhett Sawyer still staying about 3 seconds between each other. Frank Wade still not letting Rhett Sawyer catch up to him. Running in third now is that number 28 machine of David Dunwoody. Him and Delt Jr. have gotten by Austin Knight and now are about to be battling for third themselves. That is your battle for third and fourth. See Dougie Zoom had just now taken that 5th position away from Austin Knight. Austin Knight falling back ever so slightly. About to fall into the grips of the number 17, Javier Vasquez. Vasquez had a win and is looking for another one. With a great run here so far this afternoon. 20 spots up from where he started, running 7th now. Still catching cars towards the front, so don't count that number 17 machine out of this race quite yet. Frank Wade is pulling away from Sawyer just a tad. Gap now almost 3.5 seconds between 1 and 2. while we got a moment, we're going to let you guys crank it up and hear the sights and sounds of Iowa Speedway. As we come back, we got our eyes on Casper Hagelskarn at number 18 machine, currently running 15th. You see, just got by the number 64, Rusty Kamoli, as he is falling back. Gunny is now getting past him, along with Antoine Bernoulli and Adam Jones. Bobby Leo Moxon is falling back all the way to 25th position after starting in the top 10. Not exactly sure what happened with that 92 machine, but we will look to see if he can regain any of his spots back. Now getting passed by Zach Haldorf in that number 78 car. Falling further and further back is that 92 machine, about to fall into the clutches of that 5 Eric Davis. Back behind these two, we have got a battle with our second place car in points. That number 86, Rich Pratchard, had a rough couple of weeks, still holding on up front in the points lead, or in second place in points, right 4 points behind Rhett Sawyer. And halfway through the season now, it's definitely the time to go. See if Rich Pratchard can do anything, but currently running almost 30th, as Shoemaker is about to get by him in that 127. So rough run for Rich Pratchard in that 86 machine. Lap 50, and Frank Wade still the class of the field. 3.5 seconds the lead for Frank Wade over Rhett Sawyer. as we get 50 laps complete, let's get a little through the field. As you see, your leader, a very strong number 5 of Frank Wade, running in second place is that 32 car, your points leader, Rhett Sawyer. 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s on the season, so having a lot of consistency so far in the first half of this season for that number 32 machine. Brian Delp Jr. in that number 8 is running in third, having a great performance following up last week. Running in fourth place is the number 28 machine of David Dunwoody, on the move from the back of the field. Currently running in fourth place, up 13 spots from where he first started. Right behind him is a man we don't usually see up front too much, but we'll gladly take it. The number 33, Dougie Zoom. The old Twinkie powered machine's got a new livery on it this year, but it's the same old driver currently running fifth, trying to chase down David Dunwoody for fourth. So a great run for Dougie Zoom so far here at Iowa. And the car behind him, running in sixth, still picking up spots, the number 17, Javier Vasquez. Doing a great job here so far tonight, hanging in the top 5, or top 10, sorry. Currently running in seventh is 0-2 of Tyler Vickery, working his way up into the top 10 so far tonight. Running in eighth, your fast mover of the race, the number 2, Chris Andrews. Started deep in the field today, and has worked his way up to 8th place. You see Dustin Slider in that 15 machine. He is running in 9th. Solid top 10 run so far for that Barber Ford machine. And rounding out your top 10 is the 210 of Austin Knight. Still falling back from his second place starting spot, but still a pretty respectable run so far, as we are 56 laps completed here at Iowa. Running in 11th is that number 7 of Basher Craven. Basher's also worked his way up 20 positions from where he started this race deep in the field. So he is another one of your fast movers for the race. Running in 12th is that number 18 machine, your former runner-up champion last year, currently running in 12th and 10th in the points right now. So he is he is close to the running. If our leaders have some rough days, he still is in the hunt for that points championship. Only 40 points behind Rhett Sawyer right now, so that's a couple races and he could be in it. Running in 13th is the number 1 machine. That's Antoine Bernoulli. In 14th is the 107 of Tracy McDaniels, with Berto de Moya behind him, rounding out the top 15. Earl Andretti has found himself in a battle with Gunny for 16th and 17th. Looks like Gunny is going to take the inside on that one and is going to make that move happen into turn number 1. In that 31 machine, that's Gerald Smith. He's running in 18th position, with Adam Jones right behind him in 19th in that 48 machine. Rounding out your top 20 is the 64 of Rusty Camoli. That is your 50 laps through the field. As we go back up to your leader, Frank Wade, still out front. Coming up on some lap traffic. Still only 3.5 seconds between him and Sawyer. So Sawyer is holding him to that gap, not letting him pull away much more, but Frank Wade is a rocket ship today, almost catching lap traffic. I'd say in the next 10 laps, he's going to be caught up to some lap traffic. As you see, Shoemaker there going to be the first one to fall into the clutches of Frank Wade. Jamie Dobbs is running there right in front of him. So as Frank Wade catches up to some lap traffic, we'll see if Rhett Sawyer can gain any time on him. He's going to have to go through the same lap traffic Frank Wade is going through. We'll see if the guys hold Wade up much, or if it just does not phase him. I mean, that 5 is a rocket ship this afternoon. 67 laps complete now. He is caught up to lap traffic, so a lot of laps left to go here. Just over 100 laps left to run. Frank Wade has already caught some lap traffic, so we are going to be in traffic for most of this race. Shoemaker is about to go 1 lap down. Brian Delp Jr. is taking over the 3rd position from David Dunwoody and is now on his way to catch Rhett Sawyer. David Dunwoody and Dougie Zoom running right next to each other. See if Dougie Zoom can get by the number 28 machine. Dunwoody seems to be falling back just a little bit. You see the 17, Javier Vasquez, starting to run these 2 down as well. Not a whole lot of action here on the track, as we are staying clean and green through the first 70 laps. Leader is currently in lap traffic. You're seeing the battle for 5th between Dougie Zoom and Javier Vasquez. Looks like Vasquez has Dougie Zoom in the center. Zoom has got him coming out of the corner. So you go back to your leader, making his way through lap traffic. Slowly but surely working on Jamie Dobbs now. Rhett Sawyer was able to pick up a little bit of time on him, but not enough to really do anything. As Frank Wade's battling on the inside of the 50 machine of Joey Schwint. Zero issues for Frank Wade as he gets around his first batch of lap cars. Now he's going to work on the number 44, Rocco Stallone. Having a rough run in 29th position so far. There you see Rhett Sawyer trying to chase down your leader. 2.5 seconds the gap. Now he gained a second with that lap traffic, but is about to lose it. Coming up on some lap traffic of his own. Frank Wade making his way through traffic with no problem. We'll see if Rhett Sawyer get through just a little faster. But with 2 lap cars battling in front of them side by side, that might be a little difficult. As he catches his lap traffic, he's got the gap down to 2.2 seconds between him and Frank Wade. Frank Wade hard into lap traffic right now. Sawyer just now catching up. Davi is the next target on Frank Wade's list. Davis and Moxon battling there right in front of Madavi, slowing them up, allowing Frank Wade to catch up just a little bit faster. Fortunately for Wade, everybody's not all bunched up. We're a little kind of spread out, so it'll make it a little bit easier for him to get through the field. Cars battling in front of him. It is going to slow him down. Allow Rhett Sawyer to catch up a little more. Gap now 3 seconds back. Sawyer must be having some troubles getting past his lap traffic, as Frank Wade is having trouble getting by Eagle Madavi as he finally gets down to the inside of the 88 machine. With that run on the outside, he's not going to be able to do it. He's going to have to fall back inside. Frank Wade having a rough time getting by Madavi. Finally gets it done after 3 laps. So it's going to take him 3 laps to get by every lap car. Sawyer could catch up to him. Currently 2.5 seconds back, working on his own lap traffic. You see Brian Delp Jr. in the 8 right behind him. Very strong run for Delp Jr. in that 8 machine, as he is almost caught up to Rhett Sawyer in 2nd place. Right board with the 32 machine. You can see number 5 in the distance as he is catching him. Just under 2.5 seconds now, the gap. Frank Wade having a rough time making it through lap traffic. Works on Davis. He's going to clear him going in 3. Gives him a little bit of clean air before he hits Brown in the 343. Then your points leader, Rich Pratchard in the 86. Danger of going a lap down. Definitely could use a caution right now, as we are over halfway now in this race. So anytime now these guys can make pit stops and make it to the end. See what these guys do for pit strategy. Seen that be a factor in a few of our races already this year. So we'll see what anybody does. Rhett Sawyer being as close as he is to Frank Wade, anything can happen. Brian Delp Jr. still on Sawyer's tail, working his way through lap traffic with him. See Sawyer is going by the 44 of Stallone. Making quick work of it. Trying to run down that number 5. While working through lap traffic, it got the lead down to less than 2 seconds now. So Frank Wade having some rough time getting through lap traffic. He's got Jack Brown there in front of him, holding him up a little bit. Only 2 lap cars now separate him and Sawyer. Wade finally gets by Jack Brown. Sawyer is a coming, 1.7 seconds the gap now. Frank Wade makes quick work of Rich Pratchard. Now it is Rhett Sawyer with a bunch of cars in between him and Wade. Working on Bobby Leo Moxon at the moment. Inside of him, still only 2 seconds between him and Wade. Pit stops could make all the difference for Sawyer and Delp Jr., who is falling back a little bit in third, struggling with some lap traffic as well. Take a look at a few of our drivers moving up. In 5th place, that number 17 machine, Javier Vasquez, has worked his way up into the top 5 now. One of your fast movers of the race, currently in some lap traffic, 6 seconds behind, but he's moved up 22 spots from his original starting position. So started 27th, currently running 5th. Great run for Javier Vasquez. You see Dustin Sliders made his way into the top 10 in that number 15 machine. He's now 9th. Still running there just inside the top 10, having a good run for that Barber Ford machine. Austin Knight has fallen back to 14th position now. Under fire from the number 31 for 15. I believe Gerald is going to get past him. So move Austin Knight back to 15th, still falling back a little more and more as time goes on. So rough run for that 210 machine this evening. Earl Andretti started up front and is usually fairly fast. Not sure exactly what is happening here at Iowa, but he just went a lap down for Frank Wade. So rough break for Earl Andretti. You see Rusty Camoli in the 64 there going a lap down now as well. Zach Haldorf in the 78 machine is the next to fall into the clutches of Frank Wade. Wade had some issues getting by the first few lap cars, but now starting to power through them. Still 2.5 seconds back to Rhett Sawyer in second. And that gap is gaining a little bit as Sawyer is working through heavy lap traffic as well. Less than 70 laps to go here at Iowa, getting close to pit stops. And that might be what we're seeing right now as Rhett Sawyer, Earl Andretti, multiple cars coming into the pits now. Frank Wade did not take a pit stop first, so Rhett Sawyer banking on some pit strategy, taking the early pit. Frank Wade's coming down the pit road this time by. Aldorf locking the tires up coming to pit road. That is almost everybody coming to pit road all at the same time, making it very congested. We'll see what Rhett Sawyer can do. Can he gain on Frank Wade with his pit stop? You see Sawyer pulling out. Frank Wade is pulling in. You see Vasquez coming out behind Sawyer. This is going to shuffle everything up. We'll see what happens as they come around. I have to believe with that early pit stop, Rhett Sawyer should pick up on Frank Wade. We'll have to see. Frank Wade now pulling out of the pits. Here comes Sawyer down the backstretch with lots of traffic in between him and Frank Wade, so Frank Wade is still going to hold on to the lead, and he's actually going to gain some spots, gain some time. I believe Dougie Zoom is even going to pick up a spot on that pit road stop. He's right in front of Rhett Sawyer, so Dougie Zoom picked up a spot there, but Sawyer trying to take that back away from him. Lost a lot of ground on that pit stop. 2 seconds lost for Rhett Sawyer. But not a very good stop for the 32 machine. And a great stop for that number 5 of Frank Wade. His team keeping him up front. Javier Vasquez picked up a spot on that round of pit stops. Currently sitting in 4th position now. And after these pit stops, why not? Let us do through the field. 60 laps to go. Frank Wade is currently your leader, 4 seconds out in front of the number 32. Rhett Sawyer running in 2nd. Rhett Sawyer right in front of our 3rd place driver, that number 33 machine. Dougie Zoom having a great run this evening at Iowa. His team running in 4th is that number 17 machine. Javier Vasquez definitely within striking distance of Dougie Zoom and Rhett Sawyer. They're in 4th. So we'll see if he can catch down and run them 2 down. Currently running in the top 5 in 5th place is 0-2 of Tyler Vickery. Currently stuck behind Jamie Dobbs. And in 6th place, right behind him, is that number 28 of David Dunwoody. Dunwoody having a great run. I believe his best run so far this year. Now right behind him in 7th, he was running 3rd. Rough time on the pit stops. Brian Delt Jr. sitting now in 7th position. And a car behind him battling right now, 2 of them. Very strong cars. The number 18 at Casper Hagelskar and the 2 of Chris Andrews. Battling side by side for 8th place. Give that spot to Casper Hagelskar as Hagelskar gets by Andrews for 8th place. Rounding out your top 10 is the number 7 machine of Basher Craven. Been quiet most of this race, but working his way up now, 21 positions up from where he started. So good run there for Basher Craven. Running in 11th, the number 1 machine of Antoine Bernoulli. He's 11.5 seconds behind the leader. Just about a second behind Basher Craven there in 10th. So looking to see if he can crack the top 10 before the end of this race here. Dustin Slider, after them round of pit stops, is now running 12th, just outside of the top 10. Been in that top 10 the entire race, so he will be looking to see if he can get himself back up in there. Running behind him in 13th is 31, Gerald Smith. Cheeto-powered Ford, the first out of his 3 teammates in his running order right now, currently in 13th position. In 14th is the notorious number 68, Gunny. Didn't have a very good season this year, but he is running up towards the front. Top half of the field, he started up front. In the top 10, is now currently running 14th with Austin Knight in that 210 right on his bumper in 15th. In 16th, the 107, that's Tracy McDaniel, currently in a battle with the 96, Alberto De Moya, who's running 17th. Guys are 20 seconds behind the leader in a spot that they could be going a lap down here shortly. So we get back to 18th position with Fox Highwind in the 57. He is the one on the list next for Frank Wade, as Wade is powering through these lap cars. 18 drivers right now on the lead lap. Fox Highwind is the last car on the lead lap at the moment. Right behind the number 5, you see the 84 machine. That's Doug Britton. Doug Britton is running in 19th position. And rounding out the top 20 is number 78 of Zach Haldorf. Zach Haldorf rounding out your top 20. That is your through the field here at Iowa. Just over 50 laps remaining in the race here. Frank Wade dominating the field this evening. 4 seconds ahead of your second place driver, Dougie Zoom. Brett Sawyer hasn't been able to get by Dougie Zoom quite yet. Looks like Zoom has got just over a second over Sawyer now. So very strong ride for that number 33 machine this evening, as you see him trying to get around that number 64 machine of Rusty Moldy. He is going to do just that. He's going to get around Kamoli, as that is our 50 lap mark. 50 more laps to go here at Iowa. Frank Wade, your leader. Dougie Zoom in second. Rhett Sawyer in third. See Fox Highwind going a lap down. And now Frank Wade has got space. Clean air in front of the number 5 machine. That is not good news for Dougie Zoom, who is deep in traffic right now. Brett Sawyer having troubles running down Dougie Zoom after them pit stops. He was right on his tail, and now is starting to lose time on him. Not sure exactly what happened to the 32, but still a pretty respectable position. Running third right now. Still is in striking distance. Dougie Zoom gets caught behind some lap traffic, but currently right now just running in third. You see that number 17, Javier Vasquez, trying to catch these guys, running fourth, working his way through some lap traffic. Jack Brown in between them. About a second and a half between him and Rhett Sawyer at the moment. Javier Vasquez is our fast mover of the race. Started in 27th, currently running in 4th. by Jack Brown in that 343. He's going to dive to the inside of turn number 3, and he's going to get it done in 4. See if he can catch Rhett Sawyer in that 32 machine. See Dougie Zoom trying to work his way around Rich Pratchard and Earl Andretti. 2 lap cars that we don't really ever see as lap cars. Surprising to see them guys down there this evening. But nonetheless, Dougie Zoom getting by. 41 more laps to go. The points battle is heating up. Rhett Sawyer is your current points leader, and sitting in 3rd place in points is that number 5 of Frank Wade, currently only 17 points behind Rhett Sawyer. Normally we would see this lead possibly change hands, but with Rhett Sawyer running 3rd, that is going to allow Sawyer to stay in the lead of the points after this race. If he can still finish up there, Frank Wade will take over 2nd place from Rich Pratchard, with Pratchard running towards the back in 22nd position. So that will allow Frank Wade to take 2nd place in points, but will only close the gap up to, I believe, 15 points behind Rhett Sawyer with this win. So we'll have to see exactly what happens there. But even with a stellar performance by the number 5, Rhett Sawyer is putting on an equally stellar performance to hold on to his spot in point standings. So these two running 1 and 3 flip-flopped into points 1 and 3. Just an absolute awesome battle to see between 2 very good drivers here in the Esports Simulation League. As you see, Frank Wade is looking to get around that number 96, Alberto de Moya. Looking to put him a lap down. That's 17 drivers currently on the lead lap, with Berto de Moya being our last car on the lead lap. Tracy McDaniel there in the 107, in danger of going a lap down as well. You see de Moya and the 107 are battling for position. That is for 16th place. Wade has got a 5-second gap now over Dougie Zoom in the 33 machine running 2nd. Could diminish a little bit here with these 2 drivers battling side by side, but Frank Wade's going to look into turn number 3, and he's going to dive it hard trying to get by these guys. Doesn't want to give up any time. We go back to our battle for 2nd. Rhett Sawyer is starting to gain some ground on Dougie Zoom. Being in lap traffic, Sawyer is right on his tail now. This is going to be the best shot for Sawyer to be able to catch Zoom, but with these couple lap cars here, it is making it difficult for him to catch up to him, get to that back bumper. Javier Vasquez there coming into your picture. He's trying to catch these guys as well. staying just about a second behind Rhett Sawyer right now. Don't count out that number 17. He is a very strong driver. We'll see if lap traffic has anything or does anything to these guys. It looks like Dougie Zoom is starting to pull away from Sawyer now. Got by Davis in the 55 and just hit the metal, man. Now a little over a second in front of Sawyer. Frank Wade keeping a steady 4.5 seconds out in front of Dougie Zoom, even with the lap traffic that he is in. Berto de Moya giving him a run for his money on the outside. That is slowing up Wade just a little bit. Dougie Zoom has gained a second on him now as he's been trying to get by this number 96 machine. Moya does not want to go a lap down, does not want to give it up, and he's going to battle for it. Only battle so long as we've got 28 more laps to go. 4 seconds the gap between your leaders. Frank Wade has dominated this race. Got out front early and never looked back as he's still battling with some lap cars of Berto de Moya. Tracy McDaniel there in the 107. Finally gets by. Able to make it. Real battle on the track is for 7th, 8th, and 9th between Casper Hagloscar, Brian Delp Jr., and Chris Andrews. All close together here so far. Brian Delp Jr. running in 7th. See Casper Hagloscar there in 8th. Andrews still battling Brown in lap traffic in 9th. That is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. And as I said that, I was mistaken. There goes Javier Vasquez by the number 32 of Rhett Sawyer. Moved Vasquez up to 3rd place. But Rhett Sawyer is going to battle hard on the outside. 25 laps to go. Vasquez is making moves. Move him up to 3rd place. Sawyer going to try to battle back hard. That 17 is very strong, and the 32 doesn't have the right line. He gets caught behind the 55 at Davis. Vasquez already starting to pull away from Sawyer just a little. Don't think he's got enough time to catch Dougie Zoom, but he does only have a second in between him and Zoom in 2nd place. If that 33 makes a mistake, it could be catastrophic for him. all by himself. He's got clean air, so we shouldn't have any issues, but that number 17 machine is on a move. As we get to be about 20 laps to go, we're going to give you one final through the field. We'll do it somewhat quick to keep you in the racing action. In the lead right now is number 5 of Frank Wade. He's led almost this entire race and has really put on a show. You see he's catching the number 210, about to put Austin Knight a lap down. Running in second place, the number 33 of Dougie Zoom, with the number 17 of Javier Vasquez in third. Rhett Sawyer is running right behind him in fourth in that number 32 machine, with David Dunwoody running in fifth. Tyler Vickery's got that 02 machine in sixth place, with Casper Hagelscar and Brian Delp Jr. battling for 7th and 8th place. In 9th place, the number 2 of Chris Andrews. He's worked his way into the top 10. What a great run for that young man this evening. Antoine Bernoulli in that 1 machine is rounding out your top 10, with Basher Craven just behind him in 11th, trying to put that number 7 machine up into the top 10. In 12th is that number 15 of Dustin Slider. 13th, the number 31 of Gerald Smith. Gunny in that number 68 is running behind him in 14th. And Austin Knight, who you've seen just go a lap down, is rounding out your top 15. That's going to be your quick through the field here at the end of the race. Less than 20 laps to go, and Frank Wade still killing it. Way out front, 5 seconds in front of Dougie Zoom. Javier Vasquez still trying to chase Zoom down. And Sawyer's still trying to catch back up to Vasquez. Although Sawyer is starting to fall back a little bit. You see Halldorf getting some runs on him, so not looking like that 32 is going to move any further up the field here. But currently sitting in 4th place, not a bad spot for your points leader right now. David Dunwoody back there in 5th place is having a good run for himself tonight. He did have 1 win last year, but we haven't seen him up front all year long. Currently running in the top 5. 10 seconds back from our leader right now. Putting on an impressive show in that number 28 machine. See Tyler Vickery and Casper Hagelscar battling back and forth right now for 6th and 7th. Rusty Kamoli got in the way. But with those 3 there, Vickery, Hagelscar, and Delp Jr. Hagelscar is going to try to take something away from Vickery. Can he catch up to him? He's been gaining little by little on the 0-2. Lots of lap traffic to battle with as Vickery's trying to get around Pratchard, and Hagelscar is trying to get around Vickery as Hagelscar is going to dive to the inside of the 0-2 machine, and the 0-2 is going to get stuck behind the 86 going down the backstretch. That's going to leave them side by side as they go into turn number 3, and that's going to leave Hagelscar the preferred entry point, but not the preferred exit, as Vickery's going to hold on the outside, side by side as they cross the stripe. And into turn number 1, can Hagelscar take the position away? Can he clear the 0-2? Not yet, as that high side has the momentum just to be able to hang on just enough is there. Hagelscar is going to clear the 0-2 of Vickery. Hagelscar up to 6th place. We are at 10 laps to go for Frank Wade, but Javier Vasquez catching Dougie Zoom. And with 10 laps to go, he is in striking distance for that 2nd place position. Less than half a second now separates the two. Vasquez could pull out a top 3 position. I mean, he already is going to be on the podium, but he could take home 2nd here if he can catch Dougie Zoom, which he has been doing. You see Rhett Sawyer there behind Fox Highwind. A few car lengths back, not in it right now. Frank Wade's pulled out to a 6-second lead over top of Dougie Zoom, but Javier Vasquez diving to the inside in turn number 3 for 2nd place. These guys are going to be side by side as they come across the stripe. Dougie Zoom is going to have the momentum on the outside. Vasquez is going to have to fall back into line. Looking once again, still can't get a nose under there. Vasquez has got a faster car, but can he get around Dougie Zoom? Zoom goes to the high side in 1 and 2. Vasquez just can't get there. As Frank Wade crosses the stripe, and we're going to cross the stripe here. We've got 5 more laps to go. Dougie Zoom and Javier Vasquez, the best battle we've got on the track right now. Zoom makes a car length gap in between them. Has Vasquez used his tires up? Can he get there one more time? One car length separates the two. Make that 2 car lengths now. Vasquez trying everything he can. Currently 6th in points for that number 17 machine, so looking to make a move up a couple positions here after this race. Putting on a good show along with Dougie Zoom in the number 33 there. Running in 2nd. I don't think Javier Vasquez is going to have the time to get Dougie Zoom, still staying 2 car lengths separating the two. As the 17 is going to try to look to the inside of the 33 coming out of turn number 4. Popsicle sticks are in the air. We've got 2 more laps to go, folks. Frank Wade still out front of these two. Working on the 68 at Gunny, trying to get around him. But he comes out of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go for Frank Wade. An awesome performance tonight for the number 5 machine. Took the lead within the first 10 laps and never looked back. Pit stops went flawlessly, gained 2 seconds on the pit road. And after a rough race at Watkins Glen, coming out for your Week 6 winner here in Iowa is going to be the number 5 of Frank Wade. Coming home in 2nd. A battle between Dougie Zoom and Javier Vasquez. Dougie Zoom is going to take it. Vasquez is going to come home in 3rd place. Rhett Sawyer in that number 32 with a strong performance coming home in 4th. David Dunwoody coming home 5th in that number 28 machine. Casper Hagelskar takes home 6th, with Tyler Vickery in 7th, Chris Andrews in 8th, Ryan Delp Jr. taking home 9th, and rounding out your top 10 in that number 1, that's Antoine Bernoulli. From everybody here at the Esports Simulation League, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Thanks for all your support, and we will see you next week in Charlotte.